Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's go, bud. You gonna help me clean my booth?
Yeah.
Yeah? Jeannie looks shiny.
I better keep this safe. I'm gonna plant this.
You're gonna keep that safe and plant it? What is it?
It's a pine cone.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Jeannie looks shiny, hey? Nice coat of clear, ready to sand down. I got the heater on, so it should be pretty warm in there.
Yeah, it's warm.
Yeah. All right, let's clean up this mess. Look at this guy, already getting started.
Can you get the garbage can?
Yeah, I'll get the garbage can. You got it, boss. Back in the shop again. This time I've got this little visor. Would you call it a visor? Windshield. This part for a motorcycle, and I have to paint it so it looks like this part here. So that's what I'm gonna do in this episode. So Chevy and I got the booth all cleaned out, so I'm gonna set up a table in there, and yeah, just make a nice clean little workspace to work. Got the booth warming up right now, so yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so I got my area set up here. Got the whole paper on my bench wiped down with wax and grease remover first. And then I clean this with wax and grease remover. Still gonna hit it. There's primer on this side. On this side there is raw plastic, so I'm gonna hit that with adhesion promoter just to be on the safe side. Got my airbrush all hooked up. I'm gonna do this whole job just with an airbrush because it's just such a small part. So yeah, got my tack rag. I just got it figured out. There's roughly an 1/8 inch gap between the center section and the pinstripe. Pinstripe around the outside is a 1/4 inch wide, so that's what I'm going to start with on there. And yeah, see if I can. First I got to look up some photos of what this bike actually looks like, get the paint scheme kind of in my head, but I'm pretty sure it's just kind of this sort of deal, so it should be very easy to come up with a design for this piece. And yeah, so I'll do that and then start painting. Okay, first color's down. Let it sit for about 10-12 minutes or so. So it should be good enough to start taping out my designs and spraying in the darker blue. To do my wires, and it's kind of tough to see in this kind of shape here. That way when it flops and flaps, which it inevitably will because of the air, you have it lessens the likelihood of these wires coming in contact with your paint. So the upside of doing it this way is you can cover both sides. Obviously hanging parts cover both sides. Full coverage. The downside is it's going to be doing this the whole time I'm clear coating it, especially because that's when you really got to crank up the PSI and pound it on. So I'm going to get the other color on and we'll move to clear after that. Well, that looks good, except I have to redo the whole thing because for whatever reason the tape transferred some glue into the paint. Unless I could get that off, but I don't think I can. Shit. Sanded down. And repainted. And this time, I'm going smart. I got the heat right there instead of way over there in the corner. So you can feel the warmth from it. It's gonna help. But I'm also adding an extra little protective layer so that the tape doesn't screw up my paint again. This is just House of Color Transnebulae. Transnebulae. And this is just a clear base coat. It's called an intercoat. So I'm just gonna put a clear base over that. That way I tape over the clear base and it probably won't screw up again. Yeah. Okay, so I've unmasked it again, and there was tape tracking somehow. I don't know. Maybe it's the tape I was using. Maybe it's the factory primer that this thing came in. I have no idea. But so the tape tracking was on the original blue color here. So I've sanded it down, resprayed it. So now I'm about to unmask it, and if there's tape tracking on the darker blue, I'm basically screwed. So wish me luck here, friends. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so on the dark blue, there's no tape tracking, so that's a good sign. For whatever reason, the sheen, maybe it's just because this blue is still sanded, but the sheen makes it look like a lighter color, which is kind of interesting. But the only issue that I run into is these lines are not as crisp as they once were, just in that section. Not a big deal. I mean, from this far away, you're not gonna notice it. So I think I'm gonna let that pass and mix up some clear and hit it with some clear. So yeah, one little tiny bit there. See, this is the kind of stuff that bugs me that most people wouldn't even notice, right? One little bit there. And yeah, just a little bit right there. All right, let's mix up some clear and finish this thing. Five-ish coats of clear on that. So I had a few little teeny tiny solvent pops in there. So hopefully that's not gonna give me too much trouble when I go to wet sand and polish it out, but that looks pretty good. I think Doug's gonna be totally stoked on that. Yeah, cool. Man, am I glad to see that thing in clear. Like, what a nightmare. It took like probably 5 or 6 tries. 6 tries? Yeah, something to do with that blue paint, or maybe it's the primer underneath it, I don't know. I'm glad to see it in clear. What's going on here? Hang on a minute. Jeannie, what are you doing? Jeannie, behave yourself. You get along, you two. Jeez, get this out. So the windshield's done. The clear is all cured. And that looks really good. I'm totally happy with that. Needs a wet sand and polish because you can see the lines are bending the clear like that, so I'm gonna just sand it flat and then polish it all back. Probably start with like 800 grit. No, 600. 600? Yeah, probably start with 800 grit. Yeah, we'll go with 800 dry and then 1000 grit dry. 1,000 grit wet, and maybe 1,500, 2,000, probably finish in 3,000 Trizac, and then give it like a 3-stage polish, 2 coats of wax, and she'll be ready for pickup. Okay, so I've got my little polishing setup here. I'll show you what I'll be using for this little piece. So today we have 3M polish number 1, 2, and 3. 3M is my favorite. You can use whatever you want. Also, I prefer a orbital versus a DA polisher. It's just what I've always used, and I think it works fantastic and quickly for me. Garrett, Finish Master. Shout out to you, thanks bud. He hooked me up with these for free. There's different coarsenesses for different coarsenesses. Is that a word? I don't know. Different coarsenesses for different polishes. So start with 1, end in 3, and then probably 2 coats of wax. I got it to the point where, as you can see, those lines are not really bending the light. It's softened a lot anyways. So yeah, totally slick and smooth. Once this thing's done, it's just gonna look like glass. Why did that sound so uncertain? It's gonna look like glass? Maybe. Well, the visor, windshield visor thing is finished. And it's sitting right here. So here we have it. Let's see if the flashlight will help us out. So it looks pretty good. The color, the dark blue is actually a little bit lighter than the dark blue here. So it's a little lighter on the flop, but it's still very close. So yeah, it'll do. I mean, these parts are like, the closest part to this part is going to be the tank, and yeah, so I don't think we're really gonna have to worry about that. So you can see, if you watch the reflection, you can see the reflection doesn't really bend much at all as it passes over the tape lines, so that's good. Yeah, a few little micro scratches in it from the cloth when I was wiping the wax off of it, but another coat of wax, that'll take care of that. So yeah, there we have it. Now all I have to do is get Doug to come pick it up. He's already paid me, and he is incredibly stoked to get this, and yeah, he has no idea what it looks like. He gave me the 2 colors and was just like, you know, figure it out, I'm sure you'll do something great. He actually said, because this is actually a decal, it almost looks like a decal that they've clear coated over, actually. But yeah, so this decal here, it has that lighter blue little pinstripe, and that's like, what, like, you know, a 16th? Anyways, so he's like, don't worry about that. And I was like, trying to scan my brain to see a way that I could figure out how to do that. And I kind of did figure out how to do that, but it would just take like tons of time. And I'm already into this thing for way more hours than I thought it would be. So tomorrow he's gonna come pick it up, and hopefully I'll be able to get his reaction on camera. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Also, Jeannie's gone. Where'd Jeannie go? I don't know. Somebody find her. But, yeah. Hey, are you here for this?
Holy shit, man.
So I'm just in my office right now wrapping up this episode, and you guys probably missed it. I missed it when I was there in the shop in person. But check out Doug's wife's face. She is just like beyond stoked about it. Pretty awesome, right? Anyways, it is time for the Slickworks Slick sound effect of today, or this episode or whatever. So no one actually got it. There's a few guesses, but no one got it. So same sound effect, rolling over into this episode, and it is this sound effect right here. So there it was, guys. If you got it, comment below. Give you a shout out next episode. Stay tuned for the next episode. If you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe. I would appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a good day, night, or morning, or whatever you're doing.
Bye-bye.